Well, great morning. All things Jade for my Jade aficionados. So, yesterday I got my piece that I had bought. I've been looking for a long time. This is 22 karat, and it's called a Moss and Snow. It's that white color. See, I did have the small piece, the Moss and Snow. And it's that white with that beautiful apple green on it, okay? So I did finally get this. This came from San Francisco. So yeah, it's a piece that somebody had for quite some time. And then I had gotten this machine that came yesterday. Now, today I have the scale coming, a better scale than what I have in there now. But this is, I'll show you this machine. It is, here it is. Here it is. And it can let you know if it's jadeite, if it's glass, if it's quartz. It can give you kind of a heads up on it. Now the quartz is very close to the jadeite. So if you're doing jadeite, you want it to hopefully goes way inside of the jadeite and not just right there on the line between quartz and jadeite. So I used this first to determine. And what I did, I tested most of my jade yesterday, and 99% of them are exactly jadeite, okay? They're all the real deal. One that I had thought might be quartz turns out to be also jadeite. It is jadeite, but I think it's been, yeah, it's just, yeah, it is saying it's jadeite. So the next thing I do, after I test it with this, I'm going to take all of them and do the test for the, what do you call it? Specific gravity test. Okay, so that's why I'm waiting for the other scale to show up today. And like I said, specific gravity is real easy to test. You have a scale, but it's got to be a scale that's really accurate. Okay, and then you have your vessel, whatever it is you're going to use, and you fill it with distilled water. You don't want to use regular tap water because that can affect the reading because of the minerals in it. Okay, so you fill that up, and first you do dry weight on your bangles. Okay, and then you do you suspend it in the water. But it cannot be touching the sides, cannot be touching the bottom. It's got to be fully suspended. You take that reading, and then you divide that into the first reading, and you get the specific gravity of the stones, okay? Now, on all the things that I had tested, the ones like this one, my very clear pieces that I have, this piece, and this piece, yes, they are jadeite, 100%. They are jadeite, and so is this piece, also jadeite. Yeah, this one I've been really wondering. I wanted to make sure it's not a moss agate or something, but no, it is in fact jadeite. Man, if that were a regular size bangle that I could wear, this is a baby size bangle, or you can use it for a pendant. This would be thousands and thousands of dollars. It would be at least $30,000-$40,000 if it was a bangle size that you could actually wear. Yeah, I would like to get the valuation on my piece that I've had for a very long time. For this piece, because this is really see-through. I mean, it is really translucent. You can see my tattoo through it, okay? You can see my tattoo through it. It does have a little bit of greens inside of here. And if you look at it in with the scope, I look at all my jade with the M scope as well. You can see in there what they call the cotton. You can see that it's in those stones, in these very, very translucent stones. So, yeah, all things jade. I continue to learn and continue to test and continue to do the things. Like I said, I bought the refractometer, but the one I got was defective. I had to send it back. But I don't think I need the refractometer. You can do the specific gravity test. Test with this, the specific gravity as well. And then as well with the microscope, my AM scope, looking at the the construction of it, you know, how it's made inside, because jade will have different types of inclusions than does quartz, etc. Okay, so again, if you're into all things jade, you know, you go and you do all these tests and you have your black light and you test for, you know, the translucency of it. You can see all the different colors there of it and the strengths of it. And then they have, I like this one, I think, even better than this violet. This shows up also if it has been treated. If it's been treated, that will show up things quite often, especially if it's a vintage piece. Now, if it's a real new piece, they've gotten so much better at dyes and impregnation and stuff. It's much more difficult to tell. But yeah, very interesting. Why do I do it? Do I believe that my stuff is fake? No. But I'm just, like I said, at one point, I would have liked to have been a gemologist. I really thought about it at one point in my life. It's something I've always been interested in. And the first thing I was into were colored diamonds. Now I do have a few colored diamonds. I have a cocktail ring that's got all sorts of different colored diamonds in it. It's got yellows and green and blue and you know, all different colors of the spectrum of colored diamonds, which is fun. And then I have my large diamond. Yes, my large diamond, which I don't wear very often because it's large. It's large. Very pretty. It's a cognac color diamond. Okay, so I do have the GIA report on that, the valuation, all of that stuff. Yeah. And then I have all my other stones. Like I said, I've been so fortunate to be able to buy them because I was able to go to the big show they would have in Miami every year for dealers and stuff. And I was able to get wholesale prices, dealer prices on jewelry. And you just go and sometimes you find incredible buys. Because some of the people there, believe it or not, they're supposed to be in the industry and they don't really know what they have sometimes. So I've gotten a few very incredible deals, like the incredible deal I got on my emerald, because the guy didn't know what he had. The incredible deal I got on my big jade, my big green 24 karat jade. Where is that? And this piece as well, which I bought a number of years ago. That one, and then also my other one that I had gotten from, again, nice water jades, that I had gotten from Chinese collectors, okay? Chinese that owned jewelry businesses, and these were part of their personal collections that I was able to talk them out of. Now that bangle, he had two of them. So I was able to talk him out of one, and he kept one for himself, and then he let me buy this other one, which I had gotten for, again, a very good price, because this stuff is going up in price all the time. And I got them a number of years before. Excuse the crackling. This is the one that I got. This beautiful jade piece in 24 karat gold. Believe it or not, I got it on eBay. And when I ordered it, I thought it was going to be one of the small pieces, like this. When it showed up, I was like, I got it for, that's my biggest deal, I think, that I've ever gotten. Yeah. So if you keep your eyes open, and if you know your stones and things, sometimes you can pick up a very, very good deal, especially if somebody's selling estate stuff. It could be somebody, one of their relatives, and it's a younger kid that's selling it. They're just not into jade. They're not into these things. They don't know the valuation, and they will put them up there for sale. So once in a while, you can get very incredible deals. I've seen a few bangles on there that have been, I would have bought in a heartbeat, but they're way too big for me. That's my problem, finding ones that fit, because I wear a very small size. So anyway, that's my all things jade today. I was very happy to test all of them and see that absolutely they are 100% jadeite. And like I said, this one I bought when I lived in Chinatown in San Francisco. And this was in a store. They had they had thousands of bangles in this one area, okay? It was like a glass thing, and they were just all thrown in there. Thousands of bangles. And I mean, I've always been into the water jade, the water jades and stuff. And when I saw this one, I grabbed it right away. So how it got put in there with all these other bangles, I don't know. But when I saw it, I was like, at that point, it wasn't that, how do I say it? Most people were not so into the water jade, okay? They were more into the color. They were into like this. The apple greens, the moss and snow, or the, they were into like these types, the apple greens, or the imperial, which you don't find much imperial, but I have seen some beautiful, beautiful imperial jades. And that's what they were into. They were into the darker green, the green jades. At that time, I happen to always be into the translucent, these types, So whenever I can find a translucent one, at a good price, I snag it. Now, they've changed. Now they're more into, the Chinese community is more into finding these types. The very translucent ones, the very fine quality. Like this would be considered like old mine jade or something because it's very fine crystals. Whereas this one is not. This is not the fine crystal. This is like, almost like glass. It's very smooth, very, yeah. That's what they look for now. The more translucent a piece is now, the more value it has. Whereas before it was the color, but now it's the translucency. And that's how the jade community has kind of shifted throughout the years. So if you go to China or Hong Kong, Singapore, any of those areas, they would, this is the one they would want. Out of my jade pieces, this one would hold the most value out of all my jade now. More than this, they would go for this piece. So needless to say, when I dropped it and cracked it a number of years ago, I took it off outside. Well, I was walking on the sidewalk. Yeah, and I dropped it. And I got a crack. So I wrapped it with leather. I'm going to eventually have a 22 karat band put on there, which is what you do, because inevitably you're going to be like somewhere like where I live on these heavy tile floors, and you'll take it off and accidentally drop it and crack it. Okay. So, yeah. It's still valuable because you just cannot find this quality of a piece very often. So yeah, that's my all things jade for today. And I'm still waiting for my refund on that piece I had bought. That was the most expensive piece I bought. Unfortunately, they issued me a refund, but they issued an electronic check, and it takes over 8 business days to clear. So your money is held up for weeks, okay? Now, when you pay them with a credit card. They get the money right away, okay? But they pay you, they refund your money with an electronic check, which really does not make me happy. They should have just refunded it to my, the way that they had gotten it. Refunded it to my card, but they didn't do that. They refunded it with an electronic check, which holds up your money for numerous days. So I'm still waiting for that to clear. Okay, still waiting for that to clear. So needless to say, while it's sitting there on my credit card, I'm having to pay interest on that money, which does not make me happy. I can tell you that. So I will not be doing business with them again if that's, the way that they do business, that they, of course, get their money right away, and then they're holding you up for weeks on end. No, not happy about that. I'm going to go check my PayPal again, see if it's cleared, so that I can send it on to my onto my credit card company and take that amount off of there. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online.